It was a morning like no other on the Today Show stage, not because of breaking news or political commentary, but because a queen returned. Jessica Simpson, that pop icon of the early 2000s, that fashion mogul, that voice of glitter-soaked ballads and cheeky anthems, was back. And though more than a decade had passed since she last ruled the charts, the lights, the crowd, and the camera all knew, Jessica never really left. On July 23, beneath the open sky and within the buzzing Citi Concert Series setup, the world was reminded of what true stage presence looks like. Jessica stood poised, 45 years young and as radiant as ever, in front of a crowd that sang along to every word. And she didn't just perform songs, she summoned memories. She awakened nostalgia. With "I Think I'm in Love with You," and "With You," ringing out from the speakers, Jessica created a bridge to the past. She danced through the decades with every note, wrapping the audience in a sense of familiarity only a true pop legend could evoke. There was excitement in the air, a spark that only comes when the artist on stage isn't just performing, but living the moment. But then, in the middle of the music, something unscripted happened. A slip, a shift, a corset top sliding slightly off kilter. For a brief second, the satin pink of her stage outfit dipped too far on the left. The moment exposed a touch of her bra, also pink, also stylish, but unexpected. It was the kind of wardrobe mishap that could send lesser performers into panic. But not Jessica. No, not Jessica Simpson. She didn't miss a beat. The voice kept rising. The rhythm stayed on track. The smile never faded. And in that split second, she reminded the world that resilience isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about how you roll with them. Because when the cameras stopped rolling, when the music paused and she sat with the Today hosts, she didn't hide. She laughed. "Of course, I have, like, a malfunction here and everywhere," she said with a sparkle in her eye, "but it's okay. I think my boob stayed in, so that's good." That one line, honest, candid, human, captured everything fans have always loved about her. She was never just about glamour. Never just about pitch-perfect pop. Jessica Simpson has always brought something else, authenticity. In an industry that often demands perfection, she has never been afraid to be real. Whether it's tripping on stilettos, crying on reality TV, or now, adjusting her top mid-song on live morning television, Jessica meets each moment with humor, grace, and style. The wardrobe slip didn't overshadow her performance. In fact, it elevated it. Because that's what stars do, they shine brighter when things don't go as planned. They make imperfections look effortless. They show that real beauty lies in presence, not perfection. And Jessica's presence on that stage, unshakable. It wasn't just about singing hits from her past. It was about showing a new chapter, a woman who has been through fame, family, fashion empires, personal battles, and more, still owning the spotlight, still commanding the stage, still connecting. Every lyric she sang, every step she took, reminded the world of her journey. This was the same woman who danced through bubblegum pop hits, who lived through high-profile breakups, who launched billion-dollar fashion brands. This was the same voice that narrated the soul of a generation. And now, she's singing again, not just with nostalgia, but with newfound confidence. In that audience were fans who once sang her songs in their teenage bedrooms. And now, years later, they were there with their own children, singing along again. Because music like Jessica's doesn't expire. It ages like memories, softer, sweeter, richer with time. Even the sky seemed to understand the moment. There was sunshine, there was breeze, and there was music. And in the center of it all was a woman who's seen it all and still stood strong. And what of the malfunction? It was barely a footnote in the show. What mattered more was the way she handled it. She showed that vulnerability doesn't weaken a performance, it enhances it. She reminded us that confidence isn't the absence of fear or mistakes, but the courage to keep shining anyway. Jessica Simpson's return wasn't about headlines or drama. It wasn't about trying to reclaim some old throne. It was a celebration, a reckoning, a homecoming. She gave fans what they had missed: the voice, the charm, the humor. But she also gave them more, a look at the woman she's become. And when she laughed about her own outfit mishap, she gave us something we rarely see anymore in pop culture, a moment that was raw and real. That one unscripted instant spoke louder than rehearsed lines ever could. It said, "I'm here. I've grown. And I'm still having fun." The world doesn't always give women space to grow up publicly, to stumble and still stand tall. But Jessica has carved out that space for herself. She's redefined what comeback means, not as a return to what was, but an arrival into what now is. As the music wrapped, the applause rang out like thunder. Not just for the songs, but for the person behind them. Jessica Simpson, the singer, the icon, the mother, the entrepreneur, the survivor, was back. Not just to perform, but to remind us what enduring charisma, strength, and joy look like. And yes, her boob stayed in. But her heart, it was out there, on full display. Unfiltered, unapologetic, unforgettable.